Rain lashed the tarmac like nature itself was furious. A private jet stood idle under the gray clouds at a remote airstrip just outside Dallas. The aircraft's systems had suddenly shut down, refusing to start again, and the elite engineers flown in were stumped. Tension filled the air, not just from the weather, but from the ticking clock of an angry billionaire passenger. Inside the sleek cabin, Victoria Hale, tech mogul, billionaire investor, and the youngest woman ever to launch a satellite company, was pacing furiously. She was due to sign a historic merger deal in New York in just a few hours. Missing this meeting wasn't an option. "Any updates?" she barked at her pilot through the comms. "Ma'am, the engine system has an unknown software glitch. They're trying, but it doesn't look good." Victoria clenched her jaw. Unacceptable. Outside, in the maintenance shed near the edge of the runway, 27-year-old Jay Carter wiped his hands on a torn rag. He was tall, lean, with oil-stained fingers and eyes that had seen more disappointment than most his age. Once a top engineering student, Jay had dropped out to take care of his ailing mother. Now, he fixed old farm trucks and airport luggage carts just to pay rent. As thunder rumbled, one of the frustrated engineers stormed into the shed, looking for a tool. Jay raised an eyebrow. "Rough day." The man scoffed. "Billionaire's jet is grounded. We can't figure out why the power relays are rejecting the avionics startup. She's gonna explode any minute." Jay paused. "Avionics relay loop failure," he said more to himself than the engineer. "That sounds like a corrupted line in the secondary firmware. If the checksum doesn't match." The engineer glared at him. "Thanks, genius. You fix carts, not jets." But Jay couldn't ignore it. He'd built aircraft simulators in college and knew the mechanics well. He grabbed his old laptop, stuffed with diagnostic software he'd never deleted, and jogged toward the stranded jet. "Hey! You can't be here," one of the crew shouted as he approached. "I'm not trying to cause trouble. I just want 10 minutes. If I don't fix it, I walk away." The pilot looked desperate enough to allow it. Victoria, watching from the stairs, narrowed her eyes. "Who the hell is that?" "He works in the garage," the pilot mumbled. "Why is a garage hand touching my $80 million jet?" "Because no one else could." Victoria, furious but curious, folded her arms and watched. Jay climbed aboard, moving with practiced ease. He found the avionics panel, pulled up the diagnostic screen, and ran a bypass through his laptop. Within 5 minutes, he'd pinpointed the issue, a firmware signature mismatch that was blocking the ignition sequence. He patched a temporary fix and rerouted the command. The jet whirred. Lights blinked to life. The systems came online with a hum of power and readiness. Outside, the pilot stared in disbelief. It's back." Victoria stepped onto the tarmac as Jay descended the stairs. "What did you do?" she demanded. Jay shrugged, humble. "There was a glitch in the secondary avionics checksum. I wrote a temporary bypass and reinitiated the relays. You should be good to fly, but have someone reflash the firmware when you land." The engineers gathered behind her, silent, humbled. Victoria looked at him, this grease-covered, unshaven, underpaid mechanic, and for the first time in days, she laughed. It was sharp, sudden, and shocked even her. "You're either a genius or a lunatic," she said. "Probably both," Jay replied, cracking a smile. There was a long pause. "You fixed in 10 minutes what a team of certified engineers couldn't do in 3 hours," she said. Jay nodded awkwardly, ready to walk away. "Wait," she said suddenly. "What's your name?" "Jay. Jay Carter." "Where'd you learn to do that?" "MIT. Dropped out after second year." Victoria blinked. "MIT?" He didn't elaborate. She studied him for a moment, then said something no one expected. "Marry me." Jay blinked. What? The crew looked at each other in confusion. Even Victoria seemed amused by her own words, but she didn't back down. I've met men who pretend to be smart. Men who are rich, polished, smooth. But they panic when faced with a real problem. You stayed calm, thought critically, and saved my career today. That's rare. Jay chuckled. You're joking, right? Partly, she said, smiling. But I'm serious about this, come work for me. Lead my emergency systems division. I'll triple whatever you're earning now, plus full relocation and benefits. Jay looked at the soaked tarmac, then at the shed he called a job. Then at Victoria, still in heels, soaked from rain, but more alive than anyone he'd ever met. And if I say no? Then I'll propose again next week, she smirked. Jay laughed. All right. I'm in. As the jet lifted off minutes later, Jay stood near the runway, water dripping from his hair, heart pounding with a new sense of purpose. And Victoria, sipping champagne from the window seat, smiled to herself. Sometimes, fate doesn't land. It crashes, right into your life, like a broken jet needing the right hands.